gore hela bone ne ba luko ba itswelletse ko ba ne ba sa bonwe that was just indoor. The public wasn't allowed as compared to maybe a long it got more attention because it was open for the public for free le gone. So taba nna my interest go bona ditapa tse pedi tse di ang go remela ko metshamekong ya ke for ba go ira ka tseleng ya setapa sa Johnny Galaxy setapa sa Rapa United ke itse gore ba Rapa United ka go bo 30 ka go organize jalo a tournament ta bong tshameko ya gone ka go ipankanya ka ha Johnny le gone equally the same thing. There's going to be the Gems festival bata ba tsa ka re gone ka go, so they need to prepare.
But and it is a good thing gore ba ene bona ba ikemelang because like we know gore ba go simana metshameko bone league ya rona isisimole ka kwano, so it can only be up to them gore ba ene bona ba ipankanya tota
gore ba ipelega ka tseleng jang mmele ga le gare le tsa metshameko ka tseleng jang re ka paletsana khante jana metselo semele bothano mara ga nako ya bosupa ya ka o itse gore re ntse re tshegeditse metshameko Elia Davis Cup metshameko e tileng bokhutong mo tsatsing la mathatso taba rena le bone gone ga taba re buisana jalo le ba le khotla la Botswana Tennis Association ga re ga bone re na le motshameko ya mono ga Danzel Setso. DUMELA BOTSWANA. Hello and welcome to Siasara Game Farms. I am in Mamashia, just outside of Gaborone, in this relaxing and peaceful, serene area where we do conferencing, we do events, we do social gatherings, and of course, we do team buildings. I'm going to come and show you exactly how you can enjoy Siasara Game Farms. I'm sitting with the marketing and sales manager out at Siasara Farms and Hotels. His name is Remy Martin Mutheto. Remy Martin is going to tell us a little bit about what it is that you do while you are at Siasara Farm and Hotels. Hi Remy, how are you doing?
I'm so good.
Thank you so much for having us.
Siasara Farm was established in 2018, and that was after the directors of this place, they inherited this farm from their parents, and then Totahela, the motive behind this was to offer a different type of a feel in the hospitality industry. We have the game park. That's where we having some animals, and then we have a citrus orchard that has got around 500 citrus trees, mainly oranges. And we do have the activities of quad biking. We have the activities of like the kiddies activities. Now, when it comes to the rooms, we have 3 types of accommodation. We have the standard rooms accommodation. The rooms that is standard rooms, normally we call them the modular chalets. You look at them, they are slightly elevated. That's so like maybe if you are in it, you are comfortable. That's why they're about 100 meters up. Yeah, so we have 10 of those, and then we have the rooms that represent the standard executives. So the standard executives, we have 14 of them, and then we have a king chalet. That's one of the first rooms. So all in all, we have around 27 rooms, 27 operational rooms around here. So when it comes to conferencing, the maximum number of people that we can host here, we host up to 350 people. That will be in our lobo, which is our different from other areas. So we take up to around 350 there. And then we have the other conference, the small one. It's in about 35 comfortably. And then the other conference room, takes up to 70 people. comfortably seated, because we do project, we do the PA system, we offer stationery around here. Normally when we have people who came here for retreats, in the evenings, that's where we have our dinner, like braai, and then we put up the bonfire right in front here, and then we can always service people if maybe they want something to drink, some cocktails, mocktails, some normal drinks. We get them from here, and then we just serve them from the near, because it's also closer again to the swimming pool. We can as well serve people again while they are at the swimming pool. So totally this area is open for maybe could be around.
From the wonderful space that is peaceful, serene, and lets you take a deep and wonderful fresh air, to the cozy bar area, a wonderful pool area, and of course the conferencing and all the outdoor spaces that you can enjoy. I promise you, Siasara Farm and Hotel is the place to be if you're trying to bond with the kids, bond with the workmates, or just have a relaxed social day. I encourage you to come and visit them and have a good time. The breakfast show proudly sponsored by Botswana Post on this beautiful Monday. As we said, today we are talking more about the corporate and the business side of the world, and I have the CEO of Business Botswana, Re Norman Mulele, and we'll be talking about Business Botswana's 17th National Business Conference, which is scheduled to be on the 25th to the 28th of August, Kako Francistown. But to find out more information about it, he's here to let us know all about it. Ramulele, hello, how are you doing?
DUMELA me, DUMELA Botswana.
It is a pleasure. I have such a pleasure meeting you and just getting to know you. Thank you so much for joining us on the DUMELA Botswana show.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Fortunately, there is a connection, the business in Palape.
There is a business in Palape, and then we can know a little bit about business. All right, so this is the 17th National Business Conference, right? Can we just talk about the background? I mean, after 17 years, there has to be a background. There has to be an evolution there. Can you take us back and tell us about how we got to the 17th one, and how is this better than all the other ones that have been coming along?
Yes, thank you very much, Naledi. It's not 17 years.
Okay.
It's the 17th
Conference.
National Business Conference.
Oh, yes.
The National Business Conference is actually biennial. It means it happens every 2 years.
Okay.
So in total, you'd see that it has been in existence for
wow,
more than 30 years.
Yes, I was doing the maths in my head. I'm like, okay,
yes.
yes.
The first one was in 1988. Mm-hmm. Yes. And every 2 years we've had a series of those, which is why the only time we didn't have a National Business Conference was during the COVID period.
Era.
Yeah, but then we, continued immediately after COVID somewhat disappeared. Mm-hmm. And this is the 17th one. And it's a conference that was initiated by the private sector, mm-hmm. by Business Botswana. During those days in Enali Lina Lesile, I won't mention it, but it's Business Botswana. That's what we should know.
Yes.
And over those years, the conference has been held in Francistown, except in 2014, where it was in Maung, mm-hmm. and then we went back to Francistown. And it has been going on. And the beauty about it, it's a conference that is graced by the state president.
Okay.
And since 1988 up to now, all those conferences have been graced by the state president, mm-hmm. which gives us pride. And, as a private sector. And we are organizing this conference in partnership with government as well. Mm-hmm. Yes, we have a steering committee which comprises of private sector and some government representatives. Mm-hmm. Yes. So
this is for people that don't know the importance of this conference, right? you'd be shocked. Some people have never heard of it. Some people are only finding out about it right now, televisioning, and they want to know why it is important to have such conferences. What would you say about that?
It's interesting. I just met somebody this morning just before this discussion who said it's the first time they hear of such. And I'm wondering but this is an important conference in the sense that a lot of the reforms that have been taking place in the country have been as a result of resolutions and recommendations that came out of that the conference.
Yeah.
You know, since its inception in 1988, what always happens at the end of the conference is that there are resolutions, there are recommendations which are then implemented by various players, including primarily government.
Yeah.
The intention here, it's an advocacy platform, is to influence policy to create a business-friendly environment in the country. And when you talk about a business-friendly environment, we mean even for small enterprises as well. And we've achieved quite a lot over the years. If you allow me, I can outline a few of those, achievements.
All right.
We've had a series of recommendations. Some of them include one that helped us to establish trade facilitation institutions such as BITC, BOTSWANA Bureau of Standards, Competition and Consumer Authority, the likes of BNPC. If you trace back where they come from, you'll find that there was a recommendation or a resolution that was taken in one of the national business conferences to establish that. Acceleration and development, the SMME sector, the establishment of LEA and SEDA. Trace back, you'll find it's a recommendation from there. Reduction of corporate tax rate, you find we've got the lowest tax rate, in the region, and possibly in the southern hemisphere. For manufacturing businesses, Ghana get 15%, and then for the rest, it's about 22%. I mean,
so all of these things started at the conference.
If you trace back, you'll find there was a recommendation or a resolution which proposed for that. Liberalization of the telecommunication sector, which brought in the cellular telephones, the Mascoms and now Orange.
Yes.
Recommendation from the National Business Conference. We through the National Business Conference, we initiated debates around citizen economic empowerment, privatization, education, improvement the education, and most of all, the cherry on the cake.
Yeah. But everybody gets a piece of the cake.
Vision 2036.
Yes.
It was actually a recommendation from the National Business Conference. Initially, Vision 2016, and now Vision 2036. So what you'll find is that the engagements, the discussions in that conference, always result in what will improve our being as a country to be a destination of choice, what will attract investment, what will grow business in the country. That's what this conference is all about.
I'm very excited. I wish I could now be really part of this conference because I can see the power behind this conference. There is a theme and a program that they'll be working with at this conference. What is the theme and the objective of this year's conference?
The theme for this year's conference, is invigorating economic transformation through the private sector. The theme is aimed at igniting innovative actions to accelerate economic transformation led by the private sector. You always hear our president, he's always saying, he's looking forward to a private sector-led economy, an export-led economy. He's talking about, technology, digitization, digitalization. All of this expectation is that private sector should take
control.
Yes. And at this conference, we are looking at deepening those debates, those discussions, through engagements. We have a series of speakers from all over. We are going to examine all these and see how private sector can, take the lead and be in the forefront of all these engagements.
And I'm pretty sure there are certain people that want to be part of the sponsorship of this conference? Is there certain ways people can sponsor the event, or is it already closed up, or what's happening there with the sponsorship?
Wow. There are quite a lot of sponsors who've already come on board, and doors are open for further sponsorships. All what whoever is interested in being part of this conference this year, just talk to Business Botswana. Talk to us. We will see where we fit you in. We have, maybe I should indicate that we've got 2 contractors who have been assigned to work with the Secretariat to organize this conference. We've got an economy consultant, and our consultants are BITPA. They are working on the shape and of the conference, the content of the conference. That's what they are doing. And then we've got another company, BOTSWANA, we do Alkins. They are the ones who are taking care of the marketing, the logistics, the sponsorships, you name it. And then of course the Secretariat, which I lead, we also are neck deep in making sure that things work out. So anyone who wants to participate in whatever way, please do talk to Business Botswana. Call us at the Secretariat. If you allow us, we can share our numbers.
Please do.
Yes. You can call 3953-459 and speak to Patience Lebotse. She's our public relations officer. You can reach her by email, patience@bb.org.bw. And then for registrations
of delegates,
yes.
All right. Okay, how much is it? Are you going to share the price?
Yes. It's 3,500 pula
to become a delegate there.
Per delegate. And you can talk to 395-7578 to Alkins and speak to Alice. And the email address, if you all have your pens and paper ready, it's Alice at Alkins Inc. Alkins spelled ALKENEINC.com. Please do call them and register and come and
be
have
part
fun.
of it.
and I should say this conference, if you allow me,
better.
This conference is private sector, Business Botswana, in different sizes, and in fact we've even gone further to ensure that who participate. We've sourced sponsorships from different government institutions, private sector institutions, to provide facilitation who would like to be there but can't afford. So some of the institutions have agreed to do that. We also have a special session, we call it the Junior Executive Session. The young professionals who've ascended to higher positions and all, a special session where they can talk about issues, it's our implementation, issues around digital transformation, e-services, and universal access. We're going to get them to talk about topics that are interesting to them and more. So that we can hear be
inspired, be motivated.
Yes.
I was about to bring this conversation to full circle and speaking to the youth, Hela, just off script and just saying, speaking to the youth, how would you encourage them to be part of such conferences as this, as far as building our economy?
The key thing here is to be part of an organized platform. You see, as Business Botswana, we've got several platforms through which we engage, government leadership at the highest level. Now, as a membership organization, we'll always start off with our members.
Obviously, we start here and then we keep growing.
Yes. Now, for one to be part of this engagement, this discourse, be part of the family. Our Business Botswana, member,
charity begins at
exactly.
home. This is the home.
Yeah, so yes. I would encourage, our young entrepreneurs, our, small enterprises, to come in and be part of this engagement. Le bone ba tswa ka megopolo as to what needs to be done beyond your national business conference.
Because sometimes
there
we
could
can
be
have
other platforms.
Yeah.
We could even organize platforms that are targeting sectors, maybe the manufacturers, maybe the transporters, Baba Botlana. Tota, for me, I've always believed anything is possible.
Okay.
Only when you've tried and it hasn't worked can you say, "Mea ho kgonege." But if you try and it doesn't work, you just have to learn and you improve and make sure it works. So, can they come forward and be part of this?
And I'm sure a lot of young minds would love to pick your brain, learn a little bit from you. I got to have a conversation with you, and I think there's a lot of takeaways I have going home today.
Anytime. Anytime they can call me, they can visit my office, they can talk to my team. I'm always available. I'm available 24/7.
Ramalele, thank you so much for joining me today. And we were talking about the 17th National Business Conference. It will be held in Francistown on August 25th to 28th. If you want to find more information about that, make sure that you do contact Business Botswana and find out how can you be part of this? How can you learn from this? How can you grow from such establishments and conferences and be able to network with the people of like minds that can help your business grow too, so you can be part of the global network. I think we've been talking mindset change. We've been talking about being part of the global network, and these are the conferences you want to be part of. So make sure that you go online on a Business Botswana page and then get more that information, and you can find out more about being part of that.
ka mathatso go ne go wela jalo the Davis Cup ne tshwere jalo ke ba lekgotla la Botswana Tennis Association o ka itsela gore e nnile mothakare beke e telele mo batshameking ba bothe ba ileng gore ba ne ba rulaganya yone tournament ene e leng gore re ne re tsa karolo me. Unfortunately things didn't go the way we would have loved them gore di ka tsamaya o ka itsela gore re ne re na le mahatse a le mmalwa gone ka kwano me metshameko e o ya ka nne ke tlhalosa re ne re bona e tabokhutong ka tsatsi la mathatso me go utwa jalo ka ha ile gore metshameko e tsamaile ka teng mo ba as well as the players, experience wise ba ithutile eng ta ke tsa sebaka se ke dino se be ke amogela jalo ba yeng ba me ba tsela go mpeko ke simolola ka go di se be ke amogela jalo motshameki wa tennis ke ba jalo ka Denzel Sezo. Denzel, dumela.
Hello, man.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You look tired.
Yes, I'm tired. It's been a very eventful and strenuous last few days.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of emotions, and I'm feeling it today.
Yeah. We're gonna tell us a lot about that because a lot was happening, like he just said. The vice president technical
Good morning, ma. We are happy to be here after a very long week. Like he said, it was a very long, eventful week.
Me ano le tshwanetse re le boele mmereko a gona re letare go ebile motho o maleba gore a ka re garella jalo the Davis Cup ka ha e tsamaileng ka teng ke wena Nox ta ke ne le wena hela khaitsela ka gore o re garelle jalo ka ha ileng gore beke ya lona Davis Cup e tsamaile ka teng.
Re le ba rulaganya re dumela gore beke ya rona e tsamaile sente thata. Re na ra amogela mahatshe a le 15 a leng gore a phadisana mo group 5 ya Davis Cup Africa. Mahatshe a na gore ga othe ka bo 14 ba yone Botswana ke yone tsa bo 15, and ba ne ba kgona go goroga ka ne re soletse ba ta goroga ka teng ga nna le hatsela sa kgona go goroga. So tsena re di thoka gore re ka nna le mesameko ya rona ne di le teng le ha ne re na le barutwetse kana di sponsors tsene di le kota se ka palo. Me ne ra kgona go bona tsotlhe tse re ne re thoka gore re ka tshegetsa metshameko ya rona. Batswana le bone ba ne ba ta ka dipalo tse di go godimo thata. Ne la ntha bontsi ba rona re bona National Tennis Center e tetse go sena ha batho ba ka nnang teng. Me re itumeletse ka go tsamaileng ka teng. Re lebogela le Batswana ka thotwetswe ba e hileng metshameko yone ya Davis Cup le setlhopha sone sa Botswana.
Mme ebile re bua ka setlhopha sa Botswana gongwe motho a ipotsa re ka ntanong la re heditse ga kae sente ka gore ka ra boa re Maduo ga a tsamaya ka ga nneng re eleditse gore a ka tsamaya ka teng.
Re mo group 5 ke yone e ko tlase mo Davis Cup. Go na le di-group tse malwanyana, group 5, group 4 go ya go godimo go ya go tsena go the world group. Maikalo a rona ga re segeditse metshameko yone le gore re ta ipona re promote re ya go group 4 ene ne re dumela gore setlhopha se ne re na le sone re ya go fitlhelela mo maikalong a rona go ya go group 4. Re ne ra tsena mo motho a ka re ke Makgaolakgang ka Mathatso a na le mahatshe a le 4. So ne re lebagane le lehatshe la Gabon e le gore hela ha re wina lehatshe la Gabon re taba re tsena mo promotion mo group 4. Me ga ra khona re ne ra latlhegelwa ka 2-1 go ra gore re heletse mo top 4 out of 15 countries.
Yeah. That is that. Let me go to you, Danzo. How was the experience for you? Before we can talk about a lot of things, which amongst others include playing, 2 games or so in a day, the recovery in between the games, a very short time, which you normally guys have.
I would just like to start by saying that it was an incredible experience, even though we didn't win. I've never experienced anything like it, being able to play in front of so many people at home that all want you to win. Usually when you play at home, it's in Botswana Open, and the crowd is usually split, or they can't really support one or the other.
Yeah.
Or you're away from home, and it's like maybe 2 people that want to support you, and then everyone else is for the other side. But now we have crowds that are fully for us. And it feels truly special to have so many people behind you. And then on the court, it's amazing to be able to play with a coach sitting with you. That never happens in another setting, because tennis is usually a single sport. So to have a coach with you, to have your teammates that can actually talk to you, it's something incredible.
Yeah. Talking about the supporters, how did it at first feel where the literally National Center, everyone who was there was Team Botswana, was supporting you guys? Pressure maybe or not?
Yeah, you don't really feel it, especially right before. You're there, you're warming up, you don't really consider all that's there. And then you start playing, or you miss a shot that you shouldn't miss, and then all of a sudden you're aware, like, oof, I just missed in front of all these people.
Yeah.
And then that pressure starts to build up. But then also when you hit a good shot, it's like, wow, now I hit such a good shot in front of all these people, and then it just builds, and it just, it just gets better.
Yeah, one thing about us, once we miss a shot, we all quiet, like that. The time where we are supposed to be making noise, we are just quite like, oh, sorry, kind of feeling sorry for you.
Yeah.
But Knox, the overall impression on how everything went, where the country is happy, what have we guys learned from this whole experience of hosting the take-homes?
Yes, so far we've received very positive feedback from the countries, the ITF officials who were here, the tournament officiating teams that were here. We had about 15 chair umpires from outside Botswana, from different regions in Africa. So everyone was just happy about how the event went.
Yeah.
They were happy about the accommodation. They were happy about the National Tennis Center was in a good condition. We had just resurfaced about 4 courts. So generally, people were happy from the people who were coming to the center, Botswana that were coming to the center. They were happy about the organization of the games.
Yeah.
In terms of what we've learned in terms of organizers, one of the major issues was just around getting sponsors.
Yeah.
So from the feedback we've been receiving from some other people, it would require us to really start 12 months before we even consider hosting, to engage with stakeholders, to just let them know that we have interest in bringing this huge event here. We only got our appointment as hosts 3 months before the date, so that might have caused a lot of issues, especially when we're going after sponsors. But now we know before maybe we even consider, we'll engage all stakeholders and say, this is what we are considering. Are you on board? Can we go forward and seek to host the event?
But you guys did well. Let's talk about, was it Friday, where we were facing Madagascar. We had to win Madagascar to advance to the semi-finals. Mark lost the first game. He came in singles, you won the game, which was, 1-1. Now we're going to the doubles. Normally we never know who is going to be playing. It's just a group of you guys, and the coach decided, okay, I'm gonna go with Danzal and Batsumi. Do you say, no, coach, I'll go, or the coach is the one who deciding we are going with this one and this one? And the reason why I'm asking that is because you were, from playing the singles game, there's a small time you had to recover from, your singles game to the doubles.
Usually what happens is after the last singles match, so after my match, we all meet on court. We usually meet twice, first just as players to discuss amongst ourselves to see who wants to play, who's able to play, if we're feeling, the pressure or if, we're feeling good. But then the final decision is always with our coach. He's the one that is either yes, I want this team that you guys picked to play, or no, I want these people. And then he gives us reasons and we talk about it. So on that specific day, he asked me, he was like, okay, how do you feel? Are you ready do you want to play again? And then I was like, yes, I want to and I'm ready. And then we asked the other guys. It was, I think, for that specific day, it was between Tolo and Batsumi. And then coach decided to go with Batsumi. Because in practice and in our training camp, he showed that when it comes to doubles, he's usually on. He has good hands, he's tall, good serve. So we decided to take a chance on that. And once we got on court, it doesn't matter who we picked. We're all on the court as a team. Even though it's just 2 or 3 of us and the coach, the whole team is behind us. So. We just fight with what we have.
Let's talk about the recovery. You have to grab something to eat in Malanyana time, which you have between your singles and the doubles.
So it's actually, it's quite a long day for me, especially because I only play after Mark, who was playing at number 2. So I would come to the court, we would warm up, and then I would go and eat something. And then that's usually the last thing I eat, because I can't eat a full meal while Mark is playing because I won't have enough time to digest. So after I eat the second time, Mark plays, and then maybe I'll have a sandwich right before I go on. And then I'll play my match, finish my match, and then I'll have a sandwich and maybe a juice just to get some sugar back. But then right after playing, I go to see the physio who would, massage my legs because they're quite heavy and sore after I play my singles. So then I'll see the physio who would just, massage it to feel better, and then I will eat something very light and then go on to play. And then it just depends. Sometimes that's enough for me to feel good on court. But then, for example, that day against Madagascar, it wasn't quite enough, and I started to feel hungry and a little bit tired somewhere during the match. But then
you're like, man, I have to finish it up.
The mental side takes over, and once you focus, you can't really think about anything like that, and you just play.
Before I ask you about the game, which I believe you don't want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it. The level of competition. Did they give out the best competition? Are we growing?
Yeah, it was, there were about 4 pools or 4 groups. And I believe all the groups, it was very competitive. If you look at the scores, 2-1 indicates that they had to go and play the doubles as a decider. So it was very competitive, not just in our group. I know group Pool C, which Botswana was in with Madagascar, Lesotho, and Libya. That must have been the toughest group if you look at the matches and the results. Yeah, so so the competition was good. Botswana game against Libya, we had to finish it the next day because it took the first tie or the first match that Mark was playing was over 4 hours. So that shows you the intensity, that of the competition. Yeah. And even against Lesotho, we had to even go and play even doubles. Yeah. So we are happy with the competition that we saw. We think the level of tennis in Africa is really growing, and we are looking forward to competing again in the Davis Cup next year. Yeah. And I know these guys will be super ready now.
Talking about this guy and being super ready, man. On Saturday against Gabon, where we had to beat Gabon to advance to the finals. Okay, cool. Denzel takes the first set. Second set, Denzel is leading by 5-0. And then the Gabonese came back to win the second set and eventually grab the third set. Let's talk about that. What was happening? What was going through your mind and everything after the game? What were people saying to you?
Well, no one was saying anything to me when I was on court. You know, then it's just me and my coach, Coach Petras. And in that moment, you're not thinking, okay, I've won the match. There's no relaxation. It's more like, you know, we're here now, we are up, and we have to close it. This guy's not going to give it to us. And the player that I played is not, by any means, it's not an easy match. You saw that guy is maybe 3 times my height, and he's 28. He's like 10 years older than me and played thousands more matches. So it's not his first time experience-wise being in a losing position, and it's maybe my first time being leading like that against a player that's that good. So that definitely nerves, even to win. It's like, can I really win? Like, even when I'm up. So there's just a lot happening in your mind, and the guy played a good game. You know, he didn't give it to me. I really had to be the one to take it, and he made it very difficult to take it, and I couldn't close it out, unfortunately. But I learned a lot about what it takes to be in that situation and what it takes to move on from there. Yeah,
it reminded me of the Wimbledon final. Alcaraz, match point, he lost. He was serving for the match, if I recall well. Lost it, and Djokovic, you know, made a comeback and that. So these things do happen. What's next for Denzel parting with?
From here, I'm just trying to go and play some more tournaments. I'm also trying to focus on preparing for exams, even because I still have to try and go to university. So there's it's a lot on my plate right now, and just also training and implementing all that I've learned from this tough competition. But even though it was tough, it was really successful for us, because on paper, you know, we were not even supposed to get to the playoffs, because Madagascar is an extremely good team that, like, in the history of Davis Cup, Botswana's never been able to beat until the day we beat them for the first time. So it was a success by all accounts, and there's a lot to be taken from it.
Most definitely. Maroto Sise, parting words, just give thanks to all those who graced the Davis Cup.
Yes, let me start with the BTA National Executive Committee for believing that Botswana can host and going after the Davis Cup, allowing Botswana to experience the Davis Cup. The organizing committee, which had a very short time to prepare for the event, to organize the event, get all the needed resources. They worked so hard, and we are proud of what they've achieved. The countries that came on board, you know, all 14 countries came to Botswana. You never really get all the participants coming. and also, most importantly, the sponsors that came on board. You know, we talked about Okavango Diamond Company, who really opened their doors for us. They allowed us into their boardrooms, and they availed much needed funds, which allowed us to cover most of the expenses for the Davis Cup. So we are very thankful for that, including all BOTSWANA that came to the National Tennis Center. Definitely.
Denzel, thank you so much for your time and good luck with everything, school, tennis. Good luck, man. Let 2024 be, the rest of it be a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot for having
Right.
us.
Ke ne ke buisana jalo le ba lekgotla la BOTSWANA Tennis Association, ke ne ke buisana le the Vice President Technical ka lekgotla le re Nonofo o thusitse ga mmogo jalo le Denzel Setso e le motshameki wa tennis re ne re gara la jalo the Davis Cup ka ha e leng gore e tsamaile ka teng a nna le wena mo tsatsing la mosupolo gore kgagane ka tselentseng jalo re kopana gape mo tsatsing la ka moso ke bua Karabo Miss K Bosena. Until tomorrow, bye bye.
Bringing a beautiful garden to life and making it lush, green and beautiful is never an overnight success. Usimula jana ovana a vision or wait I'm on the mission to bring it to life. Joining me right now is the owner Yamasa Gardens, Me Konipiri. In the past 10 years, bringing this beautiful garden to life. So joining me, Me Koni. As we can see the beautiful lush green gardens, making sure that our eyes are smiling and our hearts are happy. But one thing we also see Masa Gardens, it is not only trees and it's not only fruit trees and grass and shrubs. By bringing it to life.
As we were developing, my husband was a very passionate person ka dio tse di natural. Ke ta simolla ka dikota tse le di bonang tsele ka ha le ona tsama a khona go tsa dikota hela di epela. A le ka gore a tsise bonte ka point engwe le gore is different from the trees. Borogo bore bo pagamembo was his creation. He was creating a focal point hape a create a tile gore ita nna tsela re sa tsamai hela mo. But the interesting part is we also try to maintain mibuya Setswana gore le ha untsul mo gardening that element there we rimpulaine lo uta monko wa metsi wa mmung ga monate ro maintain. As you can see ditsela tsa rona di santse di se di paviwe. We try to pave the sitting areas, then we put in the benches tsa concrete as sitting areas tsa batho ba rona gore ha ba tsile ba re etetse ya ka le re etetse yana le nna ha le nna nteng go le mo meriti. Also, you can also note we still maintain some indigenous trees. And interestingly, we have mepani, which is not found in the south.
Take a drive out of the busyness of the city and find some landscapes you will forever remember. Today we find ourselves Komasa Gardens right here, Morasesa. We came to explore, not just to relax, but to find out what we can learn and bring back home with us. something special that they do here at Seasara Game Farm and Hotels for sustainability is growing their own fruits and vegetables. So what happens to the fruits and vegetables? Well, let's hear from Chef Veronica.
We have chicken stir fry over there, and then these are lamb chops, and these are pork chops, and then I just cut them in pieces, and then we have vors, Bure vors, and then just display. I'm just making a small platter. Just for
It is time for us to enjoy this wonderful meal. Listen, I hope you come out to Seasara Farms and Hotels so that you can check out some really good food.
We thought that we make our own orange juice for our clients. You know, in the morning, I mean, like the breakfast for our clients who are sleeping here. The morning tea, our morning teas, we always make sure that we have a glass of that the fresh squeezed orange juice.
Jaka Asasahorbulela, Matine Ari, here at Seasara Farm Hotels, they make fresh fruit juice for you every morning. Whether you want to have a mimosa or a fresh glass of orange juice, they've got one for you. Yanung, I wanted to find out how exactly do we make this juice? And he's going to walk us through the process. And the process involves this machine right here.
This machine for making our juice. From the start, these components and then you should be having your orange, and then this two here, so this is where we get our juice. Let me take you through the process. So this cut will be broken into two, and then you need this ball. You need to be our juice. So this is just how you do it until your container is done. So this is our final product. This is our juice. Finally, you can taste our juice first, like. There you go.
Dumela Botswana ya tswelela ka one moso wa mosupologo kgwedi ya Phukujalo tsa malatsi a le 22 mme puisano ke yona rona bobedi gone mo mosong wa gompieko mme ke nagano le re Koziba Sibina, and he is the author and motivational speaker. Kgangkgolo ya puisano rona mo mosong wa gompieko ke yona kgang ya maneuvering around the corporate world. Ke gone gore re itse gore ha o tswa in a different sector wa jalo go the corporate world o itse gore o ka dira jalo gone gore o ka dira ka yone tsela e ntseng jang ta ke tse sebaka se ke amogele ene re Koziba dumela.
Good morning.
Era le telisiame.
Re teng ra tswa.
Nyame ha le tsoga go monate. Kganyena kgangkgola ya puisano ya melwana mo gompieko re mela thata mo eleng goreng motho tswa jalo ka ko kana go direla kona the public service as a jalo into the corporate world. But before re tsena mo gona a re be jalo gore ga mme ha re it's the corporate world ra ya ka rona re tsoro mazing and the street that hey motho ke le corporate go le motho a iperekela jalo in just because I government we just call it corporate. Gone me corporate world re ka re ke in just simple terms.
I think corporate world in the simpler terms is just all about culture. And it's practiced more in the private sector. So what DUMELA but differently in terms of how they run the premises or the businesses or how they work or the position in Zaboni. So it's all about culture.
Yes.
Because the culture is different. So the culture in the private, they consider it to be a private a corporate culture.
When me has to go motho ka dira eng gore a kgone jalo to adapt in the corporate world has to from the public service. Re itse le gone gore the functionalities are different. The culture is different. America was chaba parang jalo mo American wa the corporate world. How can a person adapt and what should they do? What are the key points? Go ntsa gore nya me tota ke le bena de ke tsa public service nga kgona jalo go phomella jalo in the corporate world.
All right. First of all, it's quite a really challenging move for you to move from the government sector or the the parastate house into the private, which we call the corporate, because there's a lot of things that really determine how you're going to make it. First of all, is how you adapt or fit into the culture. You need to understand and study the culture of where you are going. If you don't study it and then you bring your own culture from where you're coming from, you know, because even the working environment or the working times are totally different. How you do things in the government do.
Right.
Or we know how we work government or very young. We know how they take their breaks and all that. And in the private, they're very strict with time. You have to clock in the morning, and how to clock in
the time is money.
How many hours. So in other places they don't do that. So it's all about understanding how we treat the culture, get to understand the policies because they are so much governed by policies. They are I'll say they're fully fledged or they are the receiver on a day-to-day basis. Unlike in other places where the policy determine how the
right.
But more private in the so that's all about learn and understand how the culture the corporate
And what happens if somebody doesn't adapt? What are the consequences that comes with you failing to adapt in the corporate world?
I think even but the corporate they'll be able to tell. But I want so those things they determine during probation. Or 6 months probation. Or maybe I'm not going to in or culture in your lawyer. Take or I'm not going to get because sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and say, I don't think hanga corner or hot tight the tata or I don't know fit in. And then after 6 months, you can just say, you know what is it? Hey, let me hear how they know honor in me. The one and carry how culture in Yarona. So we part ways. So there are a lot of things that can happen.
Yes. I was about to ask that question. Areas you are studying the culture of adapting to that environment. What can you do as a way of studying? Like you're saying, trainer.
Yeah, trainer. You can go through training or orientation training in and there from the HR side and also departmental side. And then the most important thing about in the corporate because you are going to work with people.
Exactly.
They try working with computers and but they will guide you to help you or fit in. So if you don't build the tsala or then or batho ba ho ha bante ba ka tsela nngwe kana ha ba mpise sentle kana ba bua yana that is going to really pull you out. So tshwetso re o tsene mo teng o khona go tlhaloganya gore batho ba bereka yang I'm not saying be friends or make friends which can be good but you are there to work. So I always encourage people to +1.
Yes.
But otherwise,
the main goal is to
focus.
work.
Yeah.
Yes, like you're saying, maybe from the public space to not being corporate. Let's try to be lenient on those that don't have work experience, as a tertiary or just school in the corporate world. Make it easy for them. Because work experience, it can become easy how to mingle the new corporate employees. But for somebody who doesn't have work experience at all,
I don't know to have experience at all. I think I know similar common hearing or a direct supervisor. Or I don't at them to Amotenimo in the workplace. I'm a rooted theoro, I'm once about to rock about rooted. There's something called peer leading. Peer leading is to turn to about the Mongo or rooted theoro within the department. Another person of the same age range. So just all about who the supervisor and who the train, other people have gone through, or even those who did not go through them. But there has to be an exception for you to be able to learn and understand.
Exactly.
Be willing to be able to come into the workplace and learn. And when you learn, make sure you dominate.
Yes.
Right.
So
learn to dominate.
So before I let you go, because what are some of the stereotypes that you as an HR professional when it comes to this issue of corporate world? Like I said, on the streets, don't take corporate because and all that. In your experience, what are some of the stereotypes that comes with somebody working in the corporate sector?
I think the culture, but why the corporate world, they believe so much in culture, or either the toxic culture or not. So when I let that type of the corporate toxic culture, you know what I think more you know, more can step down on you or a media ladder. Because it's all about climbing up the ladder. And there's a lot of fights in terms of climbing up the ladder.
Yes.
But otherwise, how more corporate thing you sure. I bet they think the job security at the corporate is not that as much of like from the government. You know, very tight. You deliver. You don't deliver. Your job security, it becomes a problem.
Right. Thank you so much for stopping by. Next time we'll make sure that
Thank you.
All right. Elejalo Rekoziba Sibina Jalo Totaki, an author and motivational speaker, maneuvering around the corporate world, Halum Mosamo, the private sector, Kanajalo, Elo Peter Jalo, Hiru, Toto from the public sector. Miko and Telenzo is Subisana Rabubidi, while I had a Takopana Totaka, who is a Katereka, Takokon, Terabolo, Tila, Supo, Samilika Telenzinja. Jalo thulaganyo ya gago ya dumela Botswana ta go bukutu mo tsatsing la mosupologo ke tsa ke re tume sothe tsentse re go dinatso le mo mosong wa go mpeko itse le gone khaitsera ke la ona hana le chief executive officer ka ko business Botswana ga mo go le karabo bosena ona ta ha tota go ra jalo dikgantsa metsameko mme re bona jalo duetsa jalo ka bo mampudi ba mosameko wa tennis mme puso se tsongwe la ke ono ya ga Rekoziba Sibina le ba jalo kona khang ya go bereka jalo in the private sector.
Oh yeah, I think it was a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
But Hela, it was a very good day.
It was.
And I just got to take this moment to say, if you want to be part of the National Business Conference, it will be on the 25th to the 28th of August. Do get on to the social media pages of Business Botswana. How can you be part of that?
All right. Tatsili kutile we so ke tsa ke rata kopana gape mo tatsile ka mosolo la bobedi jalo se tota phukuita batho jalo malatsi a le 12 le boraro ka ene se lentse jalo ke bila jalo go te bela go tsa kopana gone ka moso.
Ke video ana le dila tsa friend. This is how we say good morning to you.
The Morning Show is proudly brought to you by Botswana Post. Rise and shine.